Hello YouTube and welcome to my channel. In today's video, we are going to be discussing the state of Call of Duty Vanguard and Halo Infinite from a ranked play perspective only. I want to preface this before I go into any details or any discussion. I'm not talking about campaign because Halo doesn't even have a campaign out right now. It's coming out soon. And Call of Duty, quite frankly, is certainly behind Halo in the sense of competitive, and that is why we're having this discussion today. So before anyone goes in the comments and is calling me a Call of Duty hater or a Halo hater or whatever, I promise you that's not the point of this video. It's simply just to talk about the state of the Halo Championship Series and the Call of Duty League. Call of Duty Vanguard dropped on November 5th, pretty much a month ago today. And it's been one of the rather most positive releases, at least from a social media and just like community standpoint, that we've seen in a few years now. I mean, I feel like Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019 and Black Ops Cold War both got a heavy amount of criticism at launch. Both did not launch with ranked modes. Modern Warfare 2019 never actually even added a ranked playlist, whereas Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War added one, I believe around Season 1 or Season 2. The game, Call of Duty Vanguard, has been out now for about a month, and I have really enjoyed my time on it. I have enjoyed the multiplayer and how it feels, and most of the maps are great, and they gave us 16 at launch, which props to Sledgehammer for that. My only gripe really is the 10 attachment system. I think it's a little too much, but that's here or there. We're now a month into the game's life cycle, and there is still no ranked play. There is not even a third competitive mode for the CDL teams to play. All they have so far is Hardpoint, which is, I mean, that's a staple in the competitive scene. It's personally my favorite mode. And you have Search and Destroy, also been around forever. But there's no third mode so far. The domination is in the game in the public match. Pros are really not wanting that to be the third game mode. It's not very fun, and I agree, it's very slow. And then Control from Black Ops Cold War and Black Ops 4 is not in the game, and that was the third game mode in those games. And so there is just this weird, discussion, but not even really a discussion because you see nothing about it. The pros just constantly keep asking, what the heck's going to be the third game mode? And in regards to the actual competitive play from a pro and amateur perspective, the first Challengers Cup is set to take place on December 11th. That's a week from the recording of today's video, and there's still not a third game mode. And I don't even think all of the bans and gentlemen's agreements or GAs have come out about the game yet. Now, taking all that into consideration, transition over to Halo Infinite. And for those who are unaware, yes, the game is still in beta, and yes, so far, all they have released is their multiplayer. There's no campaign yet, and I don't even know if they're planning a third mode or a battle royale. God, I hope not. But so far, it's just the multiplayer, and it's free to play for everyone, which is super great. And of course, right off the bat, there's some key differences that need to be stated. Call of Duty is an annual release. That's how Activision likes doing it, and whether you like it or not, or I like it or not, it's very, very profitable for them. So they're still doing it as an annual release. Whereas Halo has never been an annual release. And in this case, Halo 5, I believe, came out in 2015. I might be off about that because I really didn't play it. But it's been a while since a new Halo game came out. And with this new one, they have made it known that they want this game to last a long time. They are not planning on making another new Halo game in the next year or two. They are just going to continue to update and provide new content on the one that's currently out. And now, with the release of the new Halo Infinite game, the Halo competitive scene has just come alive in full force, and it has been fantastic to see. You've got teams like Optic, who took over the Team Envy spot because Envy and Optic Gaming merged, which, if you didn't know that, you're living under a rock because it was one of the coolest things to happen in gaming in recent memory. But you've also got teams like FaZe, you've got teams like E United and Cloud9 and Sentinels, who's also a very dominant force in the Valorant scene. And I believe in total, the HCS has 9 partnered teams. In Call of Duty League, you have 12, and right now you technically only have 11 because the 12th team has not purchased the spot yet. Partnered teams with the league, and that's it. It's those 11 or hopefully 12 teams that play each other at every event and at every major and in COD championships. But in the HCS, yes, you have your 9 partnered teams, but then they hold a ton of competitions. Most recently, I've noticed specifically on a platform called Face It, where quite literally anybody can sign up. So yes, there is the 9 partnered teams, and yes, those teams are obviously going to be the top contenders. For the first 3 Halo Open series leading up to the LAN event taking place in Raleigh from December 17th through 19th, Optic won the first 2 events, and Sentinels won the 3rd event against Optic. So clearly, these partner teams are definitely going to be the best of the best. I mean, that's why they're partnered with the league. And that's okay. But the thing is, there is a way better entry point for new players, for amateur players, even for players like Maniac and Formal, who used to play Halo and haven't in a while, and they're now just competing, whether it's they're actually trying to or they're just doing it for fun. It's very friendly to anyone who wants to give competitive a shot in this game. The ranked gameplay just in Halo Infinite multiplayer, there's different sets of ranks. I believe it's bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond, and then the highest rank is onyx. And so you have a progression system there, and it's very much based off your individual play as well as your team play. But also, with these open events, they offer the opportunity for people to qualify for the major, for the kickoff major in Raleigh. If you won or got enough points through your play in these open events, you were qualifying for a spot in the HCS Kickoff Open. For example, the Kansas City Pioneers, who are an esports organization, and they have a good following on social media, and they even have had players signed, such as Doug Sensor Martin, to their Call of Duty team, although I believe they just scrapped that. They have qualified for a spot in the HCS Open, so they'll be competing just like Optic and FaZe and those types of teams. But also what's great about it is, and I'm not saying it's easy by any means, but I even got to compete for the first time in a competitive event in the second HCS Open for Raleigh. I competed online with a team, and first round we were about to have to face former COD players Mao and Llama God in their team, and thank God one of their players overslept because we got a winners round 1 victory by disqualification. Sadly, I didn't want that to happen, but it's just how it worked out. And I mean, we played fine in the other 2 matches, but we ended up losing and getting, the double elimination. We were done by losers round 2, but we got to compete in the same tournament that Optic and all these other teams are competing in. And, had we had more time practicing together and playing together, because I mean, these other teams are playing all the time. There's a reason they're the best, but it's anyone's game. It truly is. And that's what's been so amazing about the HCS and the Halo competitive scene, is it's really just brought a competitive feeling back for everyone, because anyone feels like they have an opportunity. Because for Halo Championship Series kickoff in Raleigh, you could qualify by winning in these open tournaments. You also could purchase a team pass to play at the event because there's an open bracket. And there's just so much opportunity for anyone that's trying to make themselves known in the competitive scene to have a chance. And now going back to Call of Duty, you have your 12 partnered teams or 11 partnered teams, and then you have, I mean, it's hard to call it an amateur league because I don't even know what the heck to call it, but you have Call of Duty Challengers, which is supposed to be a format and a way to compete in an amateur setting and be able to move up to the CDL as you perform well, but it has not been like that at all. All of the events have been online only, and even the team that just won the Call of Duty Challengers League this past season in Black Ops Cold War, none of those 4 players got brought onto a CDL team, even though there were a ton of teams that wiped their entire roster due to poor performance, and yet these guys that won the amateur league couldn't even get brought up to play in the professional league. And because of that, the challenger scene is really taking a hit, and a lot of those players, such as ones I named previously, such as Mao and Llama God, and even pro players from last year like Scraps, they are starting to, or at least announcing that they want to transition over to Halo because there's more of a chance to compete. And there's actually a ranked play in the game right now. There's no ranked play in Call of Duty, so you can't even get practice in a competitive setting, because unless you're scrimming against another team in private matches, even though the rule set's not made, so it's not even official, you're not getting any legitimate practice. Whereas Halo, you have the ranked play. You can play private match scrims, and you play with the ranked play rules. And it's just amazing. And I understand Halo has had much more development time to prepare and to be on top of things. And let's just say they have hit a home run. They went ahead and they released their multiplayer with a ranked play, and they did so early. They did so on the 20th anniversary of Halo Combat Evolved being released on the original Xbox, which was a surprise, but at the same time, I think rumors about it got leaked, and so it wasn't as much of a surprise anymore. But regardless, they released it before the rest of the game because they felt it was ready, and I would say for the most part, they were right. There's some people that are complaining about lack of content in just the regular public match multiplayer setting. And I can't really speak to that because I haven't been playing the public matches. I've only been playing the ranked play because it's just that much fun to load up with a team of 4 and try to rank up. I mean, when I first placed, I believe I placed in Platinum 3 after my 10 qualifying matches. And then I've worked my way up to Diamond 1, and I want to hopefully get to Onyx soon. But like that progression system within the ranked play is just amazing. And again, like I said, the opportunity is there for anyone who wants to compete, whereas with Call of Duty, even though a lot of this past year and most of the Modern Warfare year as well were played online due to COVID, they didn't have open events to like the amateur teams and the pub, and like, you know, people like me who are not even on an amateur team but want to try to start competing. They don't have any events where you're also competing against other amateur teams and where you're competing against those CDL teams, because all of the online events between just the regular like play matches for points and for positioning in the majors, and then for the majors when those were online, it was just the 12 teams playing each other. So it got pretty stale. It made you question, like, okay, why are they even going to play the rest of the year out? We all know Atlanta FaZe is going to dominate and win the champs easily. That's exactly what they did. They won 3 out of the 5 major events throughout the year, and they won COD champs. No one was shocked at all. And I'm not trying to take away from anything that Simp, Abizi, Arcides, or Celium did. I mean, they did a fantastic job. They really dominated that game from start to finish. But it just like, there was no guessing if they were going to do what they did. I mean, they dominated that game the entire time. And, you know, I guess maybe some people to play devil's advocate could try to argue with me and be like, well, Optic won 2 of the first 3 online events for Halo. And it's like, they did, yes, but they have gone through so many more teams to win those events, so many more rounds, and they're playing against amateur teams and pickup teams like what I had to do, and they're playing against the other pro teams. Like, they're playing everyone. And that's great experience not only for them, but for everyone that's getting to play against them, because you're seeing how they play and seeing why they're the best of the best. And you don't have that with Call of Duty right now. When Call of Duty was the Call of Duty World League, you had so many better moments, in my opinion, where amateur teams and even just like random teams that were like one-hit wonders just kind of made some insane runs and really challenged the people that were known as the actual pros. One perfect example I can think of back in Infinite Warfare, that everyone knows that game's competitive mainly because that was the year that the Optic dynasty of Crim6, Formal, Karma, and Scump finally captured the Call of Duty World League Championship. But many people forget that at one point they were in a 5-5 on S&D against a team called, I think it was like the Lightning Pandas. I have no idea who was even on it, but it came down to a 1v1. And had Karma not won his 1v1, Optic could have been out of the tournament. And that would have just been mind-blowing, and that would have been a huge boost for those guys on that other team. And it also just would have been a shocker for all the, the Greenwall fans such as myself. And it just, you don't have those moments in Call of Duty right now because Optic's only ever playing FaZe or Minnesota Rocker or Toronto Ultra. And we know, and with only 12 teams in it at all times, we know which teams are good and which teams are not. And you don't necessarily have that with Halo right now. These other teams, can show up, and in the case of Mao and Llama God's team in the tournament that I competed in, they took one loss against us, moved down to losers bracket after the first round because of a DQ, and then they made a run all the way to the top 16. I mean, they had to beat a lot of teams to get there. And these are also guys that were competing in the Challengers in COD most recently and are transitioning into Halo, and they're already able to do that. And it's fantastic for the competitive community, and it's a big reason why Halo's been getting a lot of praise and why the HCS is just looking like such an amazing thing, because I think they've done what Call of Duty should have done all along. They have their partnered teams, but then there's also entry for pretty much anybody, whether it's amateur teams or former competitive teams that are reforming, or people like myself who are just putting teams together and trying to compete because we love the game and we love how it plays and we want to give ourselves a shot and see what we can do. Call of Duty just doesn't have that right now, and the challenger scene is just diminishing before our eyes. And not that they really, and by they I mean Activision or whoever you want to blame, not that they did a whole lot to keep up with it to begin with, but they're gonna run into a problem if they don't try to go to a hybrid of what they have now and what they did with CWL to pretty much have exactly what the HCS has right now. As soon as players such as Scump and Crim6 and Clayster and these guys have been competing for a long time and have been the best of the best in Call of Duty, once these guys get to the point where they're done competing, I mean, you just wonder where the hell is new talent going to come from, because the amateur scene and just the entry into the competitive scene in COD is just rather non-existent. Let me know in the comments what you think about this situation between Halo and the HCS and Call of Duty and the CDL. Of course, this video is just my opinion from what I've been seeing from both games and developers and both leagues, and I felt the need to discuss this as someone who wants to see both leagues succeed. If you like what you saw, please leave a like. It helps with the YouTube algorithm and gets the video out to more people who are going to like this kind of content. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. It would mean so much to me. And until next time, I hope you have a fantastic day.